Good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. It is Wednesday night. We've made it halfway through the week, another couple of days until we get to the weekend. And this has just been a fantastic week weather-wise, where we have been dealing with a good bit of sunshine, temperatures that have been cooler than average, but now we're about to see some changes moving in. The mornings are still going to be nice and refreshing. It's just in the afternoons we're going to see that warmer, or should I say hotter air returning in our area. Now today, it was a little warmer than it was yesterday. We got up to 85 degrees for a high today, and it's going to be even hotter tomorrow with temperatures in the upper 80s both on Thursday and Friday, and also upper 80s through the weekend. Then we're expecting some 90s to come back into our area on Monday and Tuesday, so it's going to feel more like summertime here as we go into really the end of the week, the weekend, and especially into next week too. Now, I mentioned at the end of our 6 o'clock newscast tonight that I'm in a bit of a conundrum because we're enjoying this dry weather that we're dealing with, but at the same time, I'm hearing people say, but wait a minute, Chris, we need the rain. And we are almost 2 inches below where we should be in rainfall. So yes, we could use some rain, but we've also had a lot of these scattered showers in the past few weeks here that we've been dealing with. So in one way, it's kind of nice to have this stretch of dry weather. And this is going to be a stretch of dry weather with dry stuff persisting through the entire 7-day outlook. Some humidity levels eventually will begin to build up, so it's going to start feeling muggy again. And then eventually we will see some rain moving our way. But out there right now, no rain pushing through our area. Radar clean. Also, the satellite imagery doesn't show any rain here. We have a few clouds well down to the south and to the east of us, but zooming in closer to Atlanta, nothing going on here at all. It is a nice, clear night and a comfortable night too, as the temperatures are coming down a little bit more. Of course, the sun went down before 8 o'clock tonight, and things are cooling down even more now that that sunshine is gone. Here's a closer look at some of those clouds that we have down in central Georgia, also down into parts of South Georgia too. The rain is down into parts of central Florida as that front continues to sag a little bit more down to the south, pushing a lot of that rain into central and also South Florida. But nothing over us right now. We have high pressure in control, a little rain out to the north and west, but that's not going to make it here into our area. It's going to fall apart as it moves into that area of high pressure. Here is a look down in Florida. Now, it's not a lot of rain there, but just a few of those scattered showers here between Tampa and Miami, not too far off from the Everglades there, near these areas of Fort Myers here and on down to the south too. Just a few of those showers. And it's kind of warm and muggy still in Florida as well. Here's another look at what we're watching with our tower cam. This is our tower cam right now at Truist Park, where the Braves are playing the Cubs. I have no idea of the score. The crowd tonight looks like it might be a little bigger. Not as many empty seats as we were seeing there last night, but still definitely not a full house. But the folks who were there hopefully are seeing a good baseball game, and also hopefully they are enjoying the nice weather that we are dealing with out there right now as those temperatures are falling. This is a live view from our tower cam at Georgia Tech. We have moved the camera up to the north, actually northeastward from Georgia Tech, so you can see more of the Midtown area. And again, just a beautiful skyline that we have here, and it is a nice night. The visibility is great out there as well. And then again, our tower cam here from DeKalb County at Arizona Avenue on top of our tower, way up high there, looking westward toward the city. And there again is another nice view of our beautiful skyline over the city of Atlanta. Now here's a look at the official high today, 85. Notice that matches this. The average high for this time of year is also 85. So today we were right where we should be for this time of year. Our low this morning was 63, 5 degrees below the average. And you see how this deficit is getting a little bit closer to 2 inches below, below the average. 1.85 inches below where we should be for this time of year. And that deficit's going to keep growing this week just because we don't expect any rain to move in here. So we're going to see that continuing to move on up. Here's a look at those temperatures and when they occurred. That coolest air was earlier this morning around 7 o'clock when we saw those temperatures right around 63. Now still a lot of you in the outlying areas woke up this morning to those temperatures in the 50s. And then watch how we started climbing today. Still at lunchtime, not even 80 yet. We were at 77, but then at 1 we hit 80. We We got up to 85 in between these hourlies here between 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. And then now we've been coming down into the 70s at 77 degrees at this hour here in the Atlanta area. Also, keeping up with the pollen count, you may be asking, Chris, pollen count's only 41. Why are you following the pollen count right now? Because in the springtime, you know, we see those pollen numbers in the thousands. But it is still an issue for some. This time of year in the fall, we shift from more of a tree pollen issue to a ragweed issue. And the weeds right now, so the trees are low, the grass is low. The weeds right now are in the moderate range, but the molds are also very high. But again, that 41 degree particles of pollen in a cubic meter of air, I know that's not crazy high, but if you are allergic to ragweed, that's what the major contributor is right now, you're feeling every one of those 41 pollen particles in a cubic meter of air out there right now. And again, this is the season where that ragweed comes up just a little bit more. So here's what we're going to be watching over the next couple of days. It's going to be getting hotter. And generally we see those hottest temperatures of the day between 4 and 8 o'clock in the evening, where we see that hottest stuff out there. So the impacts there are going to be those temperatures that will be in the upper 80s. And even lower 90s once we get into Monday and Tuesday. So we're going to have plenty of sun, so you'll need your sunscreen. Also, continue drinking plenty of fluids. I know it's not like crazy summertime heat where we have the high humidity as well that forces you to sweat more, but you still might be building up a sweat out there if you're exerting yourself. So make sure your body is staying hydrated. 77 is our temperature right now. We're missing a few temperatures in Gainesville, Peachtree City, and LaGrange. Hopefully the Weather Service is going to get that kind of fixed a little bit there. But Lawrenceville is cool at 69. We have 66 in Carrollton. Over in Athens right now it's 65. And then some more 60s up in parts of North Georgia. Clayton, the cooler spot, at 59 degrees. During the day tomorrow, we'll start off again right around 63 degrees. It'll be mainly clear. A lot of sunshine to start the day. Once we get into the afternoon hours, we might see just a couple of clouds mixing in, but still not a lot of clouds at all. But notice how we are warming up. We will be at around 82 at 1, 87 at 3, 88 at 5 o'clock. So a little warmer than we were today. And that warming trend is going to continue as we go through the next few days too. Here's the forecast track. And again, there's not a lot going on and showing up here on the forecast track because it's mainly dry. We don't even see many clouds around coming in either. This is early tomorrow morning where we have that clear sky and the cool air that is over our area. Lunchtime is still going to be nice and dry and sunny. And then in the afternoon, maybe a couple of little clouds mixing in, but nothing major. And those highs up to 88. So that's the thing for tomorrow. It is going to be warmer again, but the humidity levels being low, it won't be like that oppressive temperatures in the upper 80s. Friday morning, another cool start in the 60s. Once again, I know you're not seeing a lot change here. Just watch the timeline that goes to near noon on Friday. And then in the afternoon, maybe a couple of clouds building back into Alabama and areas to the south and west of us. On Saturday, we're going to go mostly sunny to partly cloudy. There might be just a few extra little clouds that roll through during the day on Saturday, but still rain-free with those temperatures still in the upper 80s. Upper 80s again Sunday, and then we're talking about 90s moving in for Monday and Tuesday with that dry pattern persisting through the weekend and also into next week too. And speaking of dry, this is the moisture map. The purple and bluish colors here indicate the very dry air that we have with those lower dew points. That moisture down along the Gulf region and also down into parts of central Florida. So we see the blue color staying here. It starts to lighten up a little bit here on Thursday, then more of the blue on Friday. Now when it lightens up a little bit on Thursday, there may be just a little extra moisture trying to bring the humidity levels up just a little bit, but nothing really major. Then reinforcing dry air here for Saturday as well as on Sunday and even into Monday and Tuesday with those hot temperatures around. And again, the humidity building a little bit more. So when we get into the 90s here for Monday and Tuesday, that humidity may be enough to make it feel a little bit hotter out there as we start next week. But still, we look to be rain-free. And then getting into Wednesday, maybe a little more moisture trying to build in, but that so far is not translating into any rain chances. So here's a look at the dew points where, again, this is the measure of how much moisture is in the atmosphere. So when you see dew points in the 50s, that's that dry air. See how it creeps up a little bit Friday and Saturday? back down Sunday, then creeping up again Monday and Tuesday with those dew points moving back into the 60s. And that's when it starts feeling just a little more humid out there. But still, on the rain graph, we're not seeing any green bars coming up on this at all, as we are not seeing any rain chances here for the next 5 days or 7 days either. And the models are in agreement, all zeros here on the rain comparison for the American model and also the European model, showing no measurable rain in our area. Now here's a look at the low temperatures. They're going to stay pretty cool and below where we should be. The average low for this time of year is 68. So 67 on Monday morning is the closest we're going to get to average. Every other day leading up to that, we will be just below the average. So still for those refreshing mornings. It's going to be the afternoon hours when we see those temperatures really warming up a little bit more. And 88 degrees for Thursday and Friday, 87 Saturday, 89 Sunday, and then here you see on Monday up to 92 degrees, and I'm thinking it'll be around 91 for your Tuesday. All right, take a look here at our tropical timeline, and you see us showing this a lot through the hurricane season from year to year, and it just shows us where the hurricane season begins on June 1st, and then it ends on November 30th, but the peak of that season is September 10th. That is today. Today is the statistical peak of hurricane season, and it has been a quiet week out there so far, and it is still relatively quiet right now, but the National Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on a system that we expect to come off of the coast of Africa. And once it moves into this region here where you see the yellow, that's where we could see it begin to develop a little bit. But still, a 0% chance of that happening in the next 2 days, and then just a 20% chance of that happening over the next 7 days. And we are seeing in our extended models here that we look at the potential for a system to develop. Most of them curve it away, but again, nothing is in the books right now as to exactly if this is going to develop, how it'll develop, how fast it'll go, how strong it'll get, or where exactly it's going to go. So just letting you know that we're keeping an eye on that system and watching it closely. Here's a look at what we've had so far this year. Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, Aaron, and Ferdinand. Most of these were tropical storms. The only hurricane that we had was Aaron, and Aaron was a Cat 5. Of course, it was stayed in the Atlantic and didn't impact any land there. So relatively quiet so far. The next name on the list is Gabrielle. We thought we were going to have that last week. It was a 90% chance of developing. Then it wrapped in some dry air and fizzled out. So that never developed. So that's still the next name that would be on the list. And then we've got a long way to go still here through the season and for a lot of those names to potentially be used. So again, something we'll be watching. So these are the areas that are more likely to see tropical storms develop in the month of September. And this is based on climatology and where storms have developed in the past in September. And again, a lot of that could be way out off the coast of Africa or in the central Atlantic or even getting closer to the Caribbean here. The orange area is where development is more likely, so that would be in the Atlantic, maybe curving away, maybe possibly making it up toward the Atlantic coast. Another development area, and we often see this later in the season, is when you see some of this development in the Caribbean or in the Gulf. And let me tell you, the Gulf waters right now are hot. It is just hot there. In fact, it's some of the warmest water that we have seen in the Gulf at this time of year. So if anything does happen to develop into the Gulf, it is most likely going to experience a rapid intensification because that warm Gulf water is really going to be the fuel for that storm to get a little bit stronger. So if anything makes it to the Gulf, it is obviously or most likely going to get stronger. So that's going to be a big thing that we're going to keep watching as we get closer to it. But the European model shows here more of that dry weather coming and staying over our area with that moisture pretty much staying out over the Atlantic and also down into the Gulf. So impacting mainly Florida and the Atlantic coast region. 88 degrees for a high both Thursday and Friday with mostly sunny skies. Saturday and Sunday we may see just a few more clouds mixing in here and there, partly cloudy skies. Right around 87 Saturday, 89 on Sunday. And then the hottest days look like they'll be on Monday and Tuesday at 92 Monday, 91 on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, back down to around 89 degrees. And again, looking at this 7-day outlook, no raindrops here on the symbol. It looks like it is going to stay dry throughout that period here. And also, afternoons above the average, but the mornings still a little bit below the average. Thanks so much for watching this extended weather update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have another update for you coming up tonight at 11 with 11 Alive News, and then of course more updates for you throughout the day here tomorrow. And keep it with us right here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7 from the 11 Alive Weather Impact team.